Hi, everybody. This is Ronda Cobb, the Money Coach, and I am so glad to be here. This week we have a really good show for you. It kind of ties into the one that we had last week, the one about Medicare for All. Are we ready for that? Well, after we did that show, it kind of occurred to me, well, let's find out if people really do have answers to all those questions I asked. So I created a survey and I put it out there, and a lot of people took the survey. So today we're going to get into that. So I just want to make sure that everyone is kind of aware. Do we really want Medicare for all? But why are we going through this? Well, we've had a few shows on medical bills now, and thousands of people are drowning in some debt that they really didn't sign up for. And health insurance is getting to be quite expensive, so people don't have it because they cannot afford it. Or they have it, but they cannot afford the deductible and the copay, so they do not get the care that they really truly need. And of course, lastly, because some political candidates are suggesting that governmental control of your life and health is in your best interest. So I kind of got a little bit curious, and you know what happens when that happens? Research. So by the end of this, maybe you'll feel more prepared to make your own decision. And that's right. I'm not going to tell you what to think or what to do. That's not my job. I want you to think for yourself. Choose the health plan that will not only impact your health, but your wealth as well. Now, remember, we're learning about medical bills and how to reduce them, handle them, and move forward because there truly seems to be a crisis in management. Last show, I said a crisis of not caring, a crisis of greed, and a crisis of past the burden of their responsibility. Most importantly, a crisis of simply not thinking in a logical pattern. They'll probably tell me I don't understand, but that's okay with me, end quote. That's what I said in the last show. And I was right. A hospital administrator of 40 years did tell me I didn't understand. He then went on with this convoluted detail of how it works in their hospital. And my response was just as you would expect it, because it was like unbelievable to me how convoluted it was. I was pretty straightforward and logical. I did forget, however, to tell him it was time for him to take his millions and retire. But I felt that it was sort of a pity that people like that feel that complicated, inexplicable, harmful, and wasteful procedures are what is necessary to maintain the status quo. And I don't usually repeat myself in the shows. If you're a regular listener, you know that. But in case you missed the first show or you missed some of the details, let's do a quick review of what we know about Medicare. Now, remember, as a licensed health insurance agent, I did take and pass the required classes to become certified to sell Medicare supplements and Advantage plans, somewhere around 100 hours of classes. So I can say I know a little bit about Medicare, but I do not, in this case, speak for any candidate, any carrier, any company, and I do not speak for Medicare themselves. Now, the first advertised plus that we seem to be hearing about is that Medicare covers everything for free. That's what they want you to believe. But however, the fact is Medicare does not cover everything, and standard Medicare does not have a maximum out of pocket in terms of the copays required. The next advertised plus is that Medicare is taken everywhere. Again, the fact is that Medicare is not accepted everywhere in the United States, and it is not accepted anywhere outside of the United States. The next advertised plus is that Medicare covers every senior citizen and disabled citizen. Again, the fact is Medicare only covers those citizens who paid into the program while employed for at least 40 quarters, that's 10 years, and those who have been on Social Security disability for over 24 months. So you can see that the facts are being somewhat skewed in social media and even in mainstream media because people simply just don't take the time to research and provide the facts. And that's not a good thing for people that are making decisions based on what they hear or what they see on social media. The next advertised plus is that Medicare is free. Once again, the fact is Medicare is not free. Part A is free if you had your 40 quarters of work in where you paid deductible from your payroll. But Part B costs every single person who participates in it over $125 a month. The next advertised plus is that Medicare is a single payer system. And again, the fact is that Medicare is extremely complex with many plan sponsors, and nearly every health insurance company is involved or offers some type of a supplemental plan, an advantage plan, or a prescription public plan, coverage plan as a plan sponsor. Each plan is slightly different, and the selection process can be quite agonizing and confusing for the senior citizen. Now, the next advertised plus is that this is going to solve all of your medical care problems. Again, the fact is that Medicare recipients still have out-of-pocket expenditures, some of them, depending on how much medical care they require, in the tune of thousands of dollars per year. They can still be the victim of those surprise medical bills we talked about, and they can be denied treatment if the plan sponsor or the Centers for Medicare Services, CMS, deems it not medically necessary. Plus, standard Medicare does not cover dental, vision, or hearing. Now, some of the Advantage plans do, some of the supplements do, but standard Medicare does not. The next advertised plus is that Medicare will pay for your insulin and other prescriptions. Again, the fact is that Medicare only pays for part of these expenses, and a Part D plan is a premium-based add-on that helps to offset prescription expenditures. But there are still out-of-pocket expenditures with that as well. So why do the candidates espouse the advertised pluses instead of the factual facts? I don't know. I don't speak for them. But it could be possible. I'm just going to throw this out there for you to decide what you think. That they really just want your vote, not your knowledge. You formulate your own opinion. I'm leaving that one right there. And now, the time that we've all been waiting for are the results of the survey. So I asked questions designed to help people narrow their choices or form a decision. And I have to tell you, I'm not a survey guru, so I did ask the questions. And I got a little feedback from some people that took it that some of the questions weren't quite as clear as they thought they should be. But let's go through it anyway so you can hear what other people are thinking. And if you're answering out loud, you can see where you fall in terms of what other people are thinking, okay? I just thought it'd be really cool to see what the group of us are all thinking. So first question was, who would benefit from the Medicare for All scenario? And the possible choices were insurance companies, people who need insurance, the government, or healthcare providers. Over half of the people who responded chose people who need insurance would benefit from the Medicare for All scenario. Okay? And then a third of the people that responded said the government. And then the rest of the people were in the other two choices. The second question was, who would be hindered by the Medicare for All scenario? The first choice was people with insurance, the second, healthcare providers, the third, the national budget, and the fourth, health insurance. The respondents, more than half of the respondents said the national budget would be hindered by the Medicare for All scenario. And the second most popular response was people with insurance. Question 3 was, does it sound like it will actually be the way it is being advertised? Check this out. 75% of you said, no, it does not sound like it's the way it's going to be advertised. Question 4 was, does it sound like it will be the way you envisioned it? This one's even more interesting. 83% of people say, no, it does not sound like it will be the way I envisioned it. That's pretty awfully telling, don't you think? Okay, so question 5 was, who will pay for it? And the choices given were the government, health insurance companies, healthcare providers, or the taxpayers. Unanimously, 100% of the people realize the taxpayers will be required to pay for this. That's where everybody thinks the money's going to come from. Sounds like everybody is in agreement on that one, wouldn't you say? The next question was, are you willing to take a 20% pay cut to fund Medicare for all? And the resounding statement from 92% of the people is no. People are not willing to pay more taxes, which would equate to a pay cut, to fund Medicare for all. Question 7 was, are you willing to give the medical industry free rein over your health care and treatment choices? And again, unanimously, people said no. Question 8, I got a little feedback on this, and I was told it was a little confusing, so I apologize. But again, not an expert in writing surveys. But question 8 was, why do you want an expensive program that limits your choices of providers, services, and medications? And the choices were, I think it's cheaper, I need the coverage, it's better than nothing, and it's better than what I have now. Fully 60% of the people said it's better than nothing. But again, I got a lot of feedback on that as being very confusing. So that question might not be as indicative as what we would like it to be, because I did not write it as well as I should have. So for everybody that didn't like that question, I am so sorry. I'm a novice survey writer. I'll get better. All right, question number 9. Do you want to choose your care and caregiver or have it chosen for you? And 100% of the people said they want to choose their care and their caregiver. Nobody said they want to have their care and caregiver assigned to them. Question 10 was, are you willing to wait in line for care? 92% of our respondents said no. They don't want to wait in line for care or wait for an appointment to get in, was kind of what I meant by that question. All right, question 11. Have you visited a VA facility, a Medicaid nursing home, or a state-run facility? Fully 58% of our people said yes, they had. 41.67, so 42% of the people said no, they had not ever done that. Question 12 was, are you willing to visit one before you decide? And this question is split exactly in half. Half of the people said yes, half of the people said no. Question 13 said, if you are a healthcare professional